Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Box Office Talk. This is the show where I break down what happened at the box office, see if my predictions for the top five are correct, and then make predictions for next week's top five. So let's get right on into it. Last week, I predicted the number one would be The Predator, number two would be The Nun, number three would be A Simple Favor, number four would be Crazy Rich Asians, and number five would be Peppermint. And I got 3 out of 5 of my predictions right for this weekend, which isn't too bad, but I'm a little mad at myself because one movie that I thought wasn't going to do that well actually did much better than I thought. So let's go over what actually happened overall. Number one was, of course, The Predator. It only made about $24 million this weekend, which I'm sure is quite disappointing for the studio because it turns out that Predators from 2010 actually made just slightly a little bit more than that. Now, of course, it is Sunday, so estimates could change it. Like when the actual numbers come out, this could be the highest opening weekend out of any Predator film, but right now it's sticking at number two, which I'm sure must be really disappointing for them. Worldwide, it is already at $54 million, but the budget is around $88 million, which means they're going to need $176 million in total to be considered a success. And I'm sure this is not the kind of opening that they were expecting. Originally, they were hoping for a $30 million opening. Now it's only at 24. That must be a huge bummer. But then again, the movie was not as good as some people might have hoped. So it's kind of hard to really say that this wasn't expected at all. Like I kind of thought that maybe the numbers would kind of drop a little bit more since word of mouth was getting out about it. Number two is The Nun, making $18 million, adding to a domestic total of $85 million. And on the worldwide chart, it is sitting at $228 million. Now, domestically, it did just outgross the first Annabelle film, and it needs $50 million more in total to outgross every single other Conjuring film. Worldwide, it still needs $30 million more just to surpass the first Annabelle film. So this movie is already beginning to make its way into the charts and probably become the highest grossing Conjuring film that we have gotten, which some people could say that's really great, but I'm not that big on it since I didn't really like the movie that much. But whatever, they have a big success on their hands. I'm glad that the people who made it are getting raises or whatever. Moving on to number three, we have A Simple Favor, which made $16 million, and on the worldwide chart, they are already at $19 million. Now, the budget is only $20 million, so this actually isn't a bad opening at all. Sure, it is Paul Feig's lowest opening weekend as far as his recent films, Bridesmaids On, but this actually isn't that bad considering how low the budget is, and I'm thinking that since this movie actually has gotten a lot of positive buzz, this movie might be able to hold out a lot better, at least better than The Predator, at least. Moving on to number four, we have White Boy Rick, which was the movie that I didn't really think was going to make it into the top five for some reason, but here it is. It made $8.8 million, and that's on a budget of $29 million. There is no worldwide total yet, but that's all right. Like, I'm thinking maybe more people will become aware of it in the next coming weeks. Maybe that'll push up the domestic total, or maybe the worldwide numbers will help too. I'm not really sure where to stand on this right now. They need a lot of money, $58 million, to be considered a success, so I'm crossing my fingers for you, McConaughey. Hopefully next week maybe it goes wide in other theaters or something like that. I'm not really sure how to feel about this movie just as of yet. Now moving on to number five, we have Crazy Rich Asians, which made $8.7 million, very close to White Boy Rick, and that adds to a domestic total of $149 million, and on the worldwide chart it is sitting at $187, so $13 million away from getting to $200 million worldwide. That's very good for this film, very good that this movie is still continuing to be a big success. And now we have number six, which is Peppermint, which is not that big of a success. It only made $6 million this weekend, so domestically it's rising a little bit, sitting at $24 million, and on the worldwide chart they are already at $25 million. So they've made their initial production budget back, but they do need that doubling point to be considered a success, which would require $25 million more. So domestically that'll push it over a little bit, but the worldwide numbers are really what's gonna need to happen to get it over to the 50 million limit. I still think it's safe to say that this movie is a bomb, though. I think that's very safe to say. Number seven is The Meg, making $3.8 million, and that adds to a domestic total of $137 million. And on the worldwide chart, it did it. It made it to $505 million, which is $500 million. That is fantastic for this movie. I'm still waiting any day now for them to announce that they're going to make a sequel. Like, if I know Hollywood and the film business, then I'm thinking that they're going to look at this and think of it as their new franchise. We're still waiting on that announcement, though. I'm surprised it's taken them this long. Moving on to number 8, we have Searching, which made $3.2 million, adding to a domestic total of $19 million. And on the worldwide chart, it is sitting at $45 million. $5 million away from getting to $500 million worldwide. That's very good for this film. I'm so proud of this film's success. Now we are moving on to a film that is a little more obscure, kind of like Searching, but it's a Pure Flix movie, Unbroken: Path to Redemption. So, of course, only the Christians know about it. It made $2.35 million this weekend, and that's on a budget of $6 million. And if you want a comparison to the original Unbroken film directed by Angelina Jolie, not a PureFlix film, that opened with $30 million. So this is definitely a huge step down. If you didn't know about this film, good. I'd recommend probably not seeing it, because if I know PureFlix, they make the best garbage out there. If you want to see garbage, I guess you can see it. Moving on to number 10, closing out the video, we have Mission Impossible Fallout, making $2.31 million, and that adds to a domestic total of $216, and that is $1 million over the previous Mission Impossible film. So that actually, it makes it the highest grossing one domestically. So now worldwide and domestically, Mission Impossible Fallout is the highest grossing one out of the entire franchise. Thank God. Before it left the top 10, it was able to push over, and worldwide it is sitting at $760 million. I'm so happy that this film had all the success that it could have. Now it's time for the fun part, the predictions for next week's top 5. Number 1, I think, will be The House with a Clock in its Walls. I think this movie will have a great chance because it's a family film, and also because The Predator didn't do that well. But number 2, I am going to have The Predator. Number 3, The Nun. Number 4, A Simple Favor. And then number 5, Assassination Nation. I think that movie actually will be able to sneak in there. I don't think Life itself is going to make it into the top 5 at all. But what are your predictions for next week's top 5? Leave it in the comments below. And if you got your predictions right for this week, you're going to get a shout out right now. Unless you didn't get it right, then I'm sorry. And as always, thank you guys for watching. Make sure to subscribe. I'm Jackson Fulcher. See you guys next time.